Think you've seen greatness? Think again. These NHL records aren't just impressive, they're insane. We're talking goal explosions, Iron Man streaks, fights that defy logic, and stat lines that might never be broken. This isn't just hockey history. This is the untouchable, the legendary, the absolutely mind-melting world of NHL's wildest records. 1. Wayne Gretzky's 2,857 career points. Let's start with the big one. Wayne Gretzky's all-time points total is 2,857, made up of 894 goals and 1,963 assists. To put it in perspective, even if you erased every single one of his goals, he'd still be the NHL's all-time points leader just from assists alone. No one's even close. Jaromir Jagr is second with 1,921. That's nearly 8,000-point gap. In today's NHL, you'd have to dominate for 2 decades straight to sniff that number. It's not just a record, it's a monument. 2. Most goals in a season. Wayne Gretzky, 92. 1981 to 82. Yes, Gretzky again. This time for scoring 92 goals in a single season. That's more than a goal per game for an entire year. In modern hockey, if someone scores 50, that's elite. 60, MVP. 92, pure madness. No player since 1996 has even broken 70. This record is practically frozen in time. 3. Most points in a season. Wayne Gretzky, 215. 1985 to 86. Yet another Gretzky jaw-dropper. In 1985 to 86, he racked up 215 points. That means he averaged more than 2.6 points per game. That's not just dominant, it's cartoonish. Connor McDavid's highest total so far? 153. And people called that season one of the best in decades. 4. Most career penalty minutes. Tiger Williams, 3,966. Now for a very different kind of record. Tiger Williams wasn't just a fighter, he was the fighter. With nearly 4,000 penalty minutes, Williams spent more than 66 hours in the box. That's almost 3 full NHL games served in penalties alone. Nobody plays like that anymore, and no one ever will again. 5. Most shutouts in a season. George Hainsworth, 22. 1928 to 29. Imagine this. You play 44 games, and in half of them, the opposing team doesn't score once. That's what George Hainsworth did in 1928 through 29. The league was different back then, sure, but 22 shutouts in one season? It's a record that stood for nearly 100 years. 6. Most career wins by a goalie. Martin Brodeur, 691. Martin Brodeur didn't just win games, he redefined goaltending. With 691 wins, Brodeur holds the crown for most victories by an NHL goalie. That's 130 more than second-place Patrick Roy. He also played in 1,266 games, another record for netminders. For nearly 2 decades, Brodeur was the brick wall in New Jersey. 7. Most goals in a game. Joe Malone, 7. 1920. Scoring a hat trick is impressive. A 4-goal night? Rare. But 7 goals in one game? Joe Malone did it on January 31, 1920, playing for the Quebec Bulldogs. And yes, that was over a century ago, but no one's even tied it since. This record is so old, it predates the invention of the Zamboni. 8. Fastest 3 goals by one player. Bill Musienko, 21 seconds. Some goals are built from patient setups, others, lightning strikes. In 1952, Bill Musienko scored 3 goals in just 21 seconds. That's not a typo, it's the fastest hat trick in NHL history. People in the crowd missed all 3 just going to the bathroom. 9. Longest unbeaten streak, 35 games, 1979 through 80 Flyers. In the 1979 to 80 season, the Philadelphia Flyers went 35 games without a loss. Not a typo, 35. That's 25 wins and 10 ties over a 3-month stretch. An entire NHL team just forgot how to lose. It's a record that survived expansion, lockouts, rule changes, and it still stands today. 10. Longest point streak. Wayne Gretzky, 51 games, 1983 through 84. Gretzky again, because of course. He scored at least 1 point in 51 consecutive games. That's over half a season where the guy just refused to be held off the score sheet. Most players dream of a 10-game streak. 51? That's absurd. 11. Most consecutive games played. Keith Yandle, 989. In a league as brutal and physical as the NHL, just showing up every night is a feat. Keith Yandle holds the Iron Man record with 989 consecutive games played. That's over 12 seasons without missing a single game. No illness, no injuries, scratches, just pure, gritty consistency. Number 12, most assists in a season. Wayne Gretzky, 163, 1985 through 86. Gretzky's 163 assists in one season is another video game stat. The most total points most players get in their best season is less than Gretzky's assists alone. Number 13, most goals by a defenseman in a season. Paul Coffey, 48, 1985 through 86. Defensemen aren't supposed to be your top goal scorers, but Coffey played by his own rules. In 1985 through 86, he buried 48 goals from the blue line. He was smooth, fast, and lethal. No modern defenseman has really come close. 14, most Stanley Cups as a player. Henry Richard, 11. The late Henry Richard, brother of Rocket Richard, won 11 Stanley Cups with the Montreal Canadiens. That's more than any team has won in the last 30 years. He was part of dynasties that defined generations and lifted the cup more times than most players even see the playoffs. Number 15, most goals in a single playoff year. Reggie Leach, 19, 1976. Playoff hockey is tough, gritty, and low-scoring. But in 1976, Reggie Leach went on a rampage, scoring 19 goals in one playoff run. And here's the kicker. The Flyers didn't even win the cup that year. He just couldn't be stopped. Number 16, most saves in a single game. Ron Tugnutt, 70, 1991. On March 21, 1991, Quebec Nordics goalie Ron Tugnutt faced a barrage from the Boston Bruins and stopped 70 of 73 shots. That game ended in a tie, but Tugnutt was carried off the ice like he'd won Game 7. Number 17, most goals in a period by one player. Joe Pavelski, 4, 2024. In a 2024 game against the Minnesota Wild, veteran Joe Pavelski scored 4 goals in one period. He became the oldest player in NHL history to do so, at age 39. Records don't just belong to the young. Sometimes the old dogs still have tricks. Number 18, fastest hat trick. Jean Beliveau, 44 seconds, 1955. In 1955, Canadiens legend Jean Beliveau scored a hat trick in 44 seconds. That's less than a minute for 3 goals. Most fans didn't even have time to grab popcorn. It was over before the opponent could even change lines. Number 19, most fighting majors in a season. Dave Schultz, 43, 1974 through 75. Dave the Hammer Schultz lived up to his nickname. In 1974 through 75, he racked up 43 fighting majors in just one season. That's nearly a fight every 2 games. Modern players get benched for even 5 fights. This guy, he made it an art form. Number 20, oldest player ever. Gordie Howe, age 52. When most players retire, Gordie Howe was still lacing them up. He played his final NHL season at age 52 and still contributed. No gimmicks, no handouts, just pure old-school toughness. The man had already played decades before some of his teammates were even born. Number 21, youngest player ever, Bep Whittelen, age 16. On the flip side, Bep Whittelen debuted in the NHL at just 16 years old during World War II. He played for the Boston Bruins and held his own in a man's league. Think about that. High school kids today were once NHL rookies. Number 22, most power play goals in career. Alexander Ovechkin, 300 plus. The Ovi spot. Everyone knows it's coming. No one can stop it. Ovechkin's ability to score from the top of the left circle on the power play has netted him over 300 PPGs, a career record. That's dominance with a capital D. Number 23. Longest game ever played. 1936, 176 minutes. In 1936, the Detroit Red Wings and Montreal Maroons battled for 176 minutes. That's 6 overtimes. The final score was 1-0. It took nearly 3 full games worth of hockey to find a winner. Some players lost up to 15 pounds during the game. Number 24, most shots on goal in a season. Phil Esposito, 550, 1970 to 71. Phil Esposito wasn't just scoring, he was shooting nonstop. With 550 shots in one season, he forced goaltenders to earn every save. In modern NHL, 300-plus shots is elite. Esposito said, "Hold my beer." Number 25, Martin Brodeur, the undisputed king of goaltenders. Martin Brodeur didn't just play goalie, he redefined the position. Let's start with this. Most wins by a goalie, 691. That's not just a record, it's a landslide. The second place, Patrick Roy with 551. That's a 140-win gap. Brodeur wasn't just consistent, he was an unstoppable, era-dominating machine. But that's not all. Most shutouts in a career, 125. That's 125 games where the other team didn't get a single goal. That's nearly 2 entire seasons of perfect games. Most games played by a goalie, 1,266. No one's even come close. Brodeur didn't just last, he thrived for 2 full decades. Most minutes played, 74,439. That's over 51 days on the ice, under pressure, facing pucks at 100 miles per hour. No breaks, no excuses. And perhaps the most underrated stat, most assists by a goalie, 47. Yeah, assists. Brodeur had better hands than some defensemen. He wasn't just stopping goals, he was starting offense. Brodeur's butterfly technique, hybrid style, and ability to play the puck changed how goalies are trained today. In an era that bridged old-school toughness and modern speed, he stood tall in both. He wasn't flashy, he didn't need to be. He was just better. Night after night, year after year. There may never be another like him. The ice is cold. The stats are hot. These records tell the story of warriors, phenoms, and freaks of nature. Some will never be broken. Some can't be. But all of them prove one thing. When it comes to the NHL, the impossible is always on the table. Smash that like button if you learned something wild today. And hit subscribe if you want more epic hockey breakdowns and record-shattering stories. Because greatness, it's always worth remembering.